Hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show. It's our first local race meeting of the week, the 21st of May, Tuesday. We race at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. What's on the go? Well, there's 9 races, so the exotics will begin in race number 2, which will kick off the bipod. And then the Pick 6, the big one, which looks to be a bet to catch at this race meeting, kicks off at 14:05. As always, Graham Hawkins, who's usually on the line, but as you've come to know, during KZN Champion season, he is in KZN, so we have him in studio. Graham, 9 races to kick off the week. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing great, thanks. And things were going along swimmingly on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth until Baton Rouge came along and upset everybody in the last, caused another Pick 6 dividend of 400,000. Today is very much a bread and butter race meeting, but some interesting racing, and I think that man Richard Fourie is the one to follow.
Yes, Richard Fourie now 300 plus. Let's get straight into it, Graham. Race number 1, starting off with a maiden juvenile plate, and it's over 1,000 meters, does not form part of the exotics. Just as a guide, Graham, as always, we'll give you horses in single figures. Number 3 at 33-10. Horse number 6 at 28-10, and then you mentioned Richard Fourie. Well, he rides for Justin Snaith here, and that's at even money. I don't know if you're going to go the filly against over the gelding, or you rather would take the safe route and go exacta box there between numbers 7 and 6, and we'll just have to keep an eye on the unknown, which is priced up at 33-10, horse number 3.
Now, I think I'm in the camp of number 7 in the green zone. I think those form lines are strong enough. If you go to the 17th of February, 3rd to Prom Queen, 2nd that day was Disting, so they finished very close to each other. And then last time out on the 23rd of March, although a little bit disappointing back in 5th position behind Miss World, both Babalicious and the Weekends when a Dixieland band came out of that form line. Obviously, Summer Snow has also got a form line that's been franked, 4th to Otaniqua. And coming out of that form line over the weekend was Bank Street. So that won the first. So they do stand out on form. I'm leaning towards number 7 in the green zone, but watch out for number 3, Just a Glance. Positive comments coming through from the yard, priced up quite tight in the market at 33-10. And you know, Brett Crawford's juveniles have been running well on debut without necessarily winning. Sure. Again, over the weekend, he had one that ran 2nd or 3rd on debut, beaten under half a length. And he's running those with chances, and I'm expecting a very forward run from number 3, Just a Glance. So the trifectas look obvious. 7 in the green zone, the top choice, ahead of number 6, Summer Snow. But neither may be good enough to match strides with number 3, Just a Glance. So finalise your bets. It's not part of the bipod, as you've mentioned. Finalise your bets as you get closer to race time. But number 7 in the green zone for me to get Richard Fourie and Justin Snaith off to a nice start.
Okay, Graham going with the filly, 7 ahead of number 6 of the race runners, but he's got some time here for the first timer called Just a Glance, who is priced up at 33-10, but the guys on course will give you more information on what the stable are expecting on debut for number 3, Just a Glance. Then we'll start off the exotics. It will be the start of the bipod. Race number 2, you need to get your bets on by 12:55. It's over 1,400 meters, Graham. I'm just going to give you the betting for the horses in single figures. Number 1, Unconquerable Lady at 9-2. There is money anti-post Hollywoodbets for number 3, Summer Lily, 22-10 into 16-10. Number 4 at 9-2. 5 is at 5-1, and 6 at 7-1. Graham, are we going to follow the money here and possibly banker this horse, number 3, Summer Lily, who's in such good form, or are you looking to, play for a result?
You know, when I first looked at this race, I thought, here we go. He has another trappy Cape B Stakes, fillies and mares, 1,400 meters. Unconquerable Lady clearly has a chance. Summer Lily, Call Me Jetrix were good. But then when I started looking a lot more closer, Summer Lily, for me, does stand out as difficult to beat. She has to give Call Me Jetrix a kilo and a half. There's not much to choose between Call Me Jetrix and Wugug on the evidence of the form of the 13th of April. But Summer Lily's been so consistent. You know, she's had 7 lifetime starts, all 7 in the money. Her recent form is good. She was stretched to 1,800 meters last time, went 2nd behind Rainbow Lorikeet. I think she's more comfortable over this track and trip, and I said Fourie might be the man to follow, Justin Snaith as well, and they could open up with a double, winning the first and second races. So number 3, Summer Lily. You've got to make your own personal choices whether you think she's a bipod banker. I'm inclined to think so. I think if she doesn't win, she'll run second. I do think that Unconquerable Lady's got it all to do under 61.5, even though she's drawn in pole position. I think she's going to find it tough going to concede weight to Summer Lily, Call Me Jetrix, and Wagoog. So Summer Lily, my first choice. And yes, if you're playing a tight perm, and there's some tough races still to come in the bipod, I would take my chances with number 3, Summer Lily. The bipod is not my suggested bet for this show. I've gone with Jackpot 2, but I'm inclined to think that Summer Lily might be a bipod banker.
Well, you heard it from Graham, some positive comments for number 3, Summer Lily. And if you are looking for a banker in leg number 1, then maybe that's the way to go. The cover horse, just reading between the lines, number 4, Call Me Jetrix from Graham. And then Unconquerable Lady, well, with that big mass, let's see how she goes here. She could be the third choice. Number 3, Summer Lily, possible banker in the bipod. Race number 3 starts off the place accumulator, Graham. It's an open maiden for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters. So what this means is that there's a spread of weights from 60 kgs all the way down to 51.5. They priced them up like this, Graham. Number 2 at 5 to 1, number 6 at 4 to 1, 9 is at 5 to 1, 10 at 8 to 1, 12 is a scratching, and 13 at 7 to 2. All yours here, Graham, because this can usually be very tricky. But what's the results in these races, especially down in the Western Cape? Usually the better horses seem to win.
Wow, we've had some real shockers in the open maidens. We've had some real upsets along the way, and the spread of weights here is quite large. You go from Rocking Peony at 55.5, Pink Moon at 58, and then you go all the way down to 51.5 for Lead to Glory. Nice to see Josh Solomons pick up a winning ride over the weekend. Spirit Guide 56.5, and United We Stand 53. United We Stand did me a bit of a favour. I was very strong on Tambourine Man, as you know, last time, and I suggested that United We Stand might be the exacta horse. So I don't want to desert number 9 United We Stand, but I think from a bipod and a place accumulator point of view, you've got to stretch your choices in this race. I know that number 13 Rocking Peony was a good third behind 1,000 Kisses last time out, but looking at the overall form, Richard Faree's a big plus. But worth noting is that in that race on the 20th of April, Rocking Peony ran third. Close behind that was Spirit Guide, who ran fourth. Now, the filly that ran second in that race was Charlene, who came out to win over the weekend.
Beating a horse that was, I thought was a good thing.
I was very strong on Be Merry,
sure.
But you know, at the end of the day, Charlene looked a picture going down. But that's history. You know, I'm going to take a stab at Pink Moon. Third run after arrest, obviously was sidelined from the 14th of October to the 5th of March. I think good each-way value, has the right sort of form, as a 5-star pedigree. If Pink Moon is ever going to get it right, stripping very fit, third run back, less exposed than the likes of Rocking Peony and United We Stand. Lead to Glory, very much a runner. Spirit Guide, very much a runner. Can't be of much help. I'm leaning towards number 10, Pink Moon, ahead of number 9, United We Stand. Then, of course, number 13, Rocking Peony, number 6, Spirit Guide, and number 2, Lead to Glory. But they all, these have winning chances. So I'm not going to nail my colours to the mast here. I think that is the short list of potential winners, numbers 2, 6, 9, 10, and 13. But I think I'm going to have a little each-way strike on number 10, Pink Moon, and hope that there is some ability there and that she's now cherry-ripe to deliver her best.
Well, horse number 10 is trading at 8 to 1. And that is some big value that Graham has found there. Whether that 8 to 1 is going to last come race time, well, I doubt it after this show. Number 10, Pink Moon, going to be the top choice. And regardless of the result, just having a look at the way they priced up, Graham assessment, whatever the result here in race number 3, if you can try and get through the minimum spend, it's a win for you because you can't get drop tickets here. It looks like a very tricky race to get things off. Talking about tricky, well, hopefully Graham can get us off to a flyer in the pick 6, which begins in race number 4 at 14:05. It's over 1,600 meters. And this is the way they're betting, Graham. Number 1 is at 33 to 10. Horse number 4 at 8 to 1. 5 is a 5 to 1 shot. 7 at 9 to 4. Horse number 8 at 3 to 1. And that is it, Graham. I don't know if you're expecting a form result here with the horses that are in the betting. If you're going to go, what's the number of horses? 10. If you're going to go more than 5 runners, then we're in trouble here, Graham. Can you narrow it down to 5 or less?
I think 5 potential winners. Clearly, number 1, St. Bridget. Number 5, we have a situation, is improving steadily. Number 7, Charlotte Bronte, coming to hand slowly without setting the tracks alight. She is the half-sister to Charles Dickens, but nobody's told her that yet. But she's coming along the right way, and this is a very limited field. Obviously, number 8, National Disgrace. So I've mentioned 4. Again, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I'm going with number 4, Lavender Bay. Hasn't run since the 6th of December. That was over 1,200 metres. Hopefully has strengthened up. She's a daughter of Twice Over out of Casey Tibbs mare. Stepped straight into a 1,600-metre contest against very limited opposition. While no direct winners have come out of that Treyshik form line back in December, and Treyshik runs on this card with a chance later, there have been 4 subsequent winners out of that form line. I know nothing, Dees. I'm taking a complete shot in the dark, but I can see that she's been given a chance to furnish, to develop, maybe to mature. She doesn't have to be special, Lavender Bay, to come out and win a race like this. She doesn't have to be special. Clearly, the market leader is Charlotte Bronte, just ahead of National Disgrace, both owned by the Drakenstein Syndicate. Now, in the 4th race on Saturday, we saw B. Mary and Charlene fighting it out, 2 from the Drakenstein ownership, and it could be a repeat of that. It could be copy and paste with Charlotte Bronte and National Disgrace to fight it out. St. Bridget alive, we have a situation alive, and my shot in the dark is Lavender Bay.
Well, you heard it from Graham. She's been off for 5.5 months, but Graham suggesting that if she's anywhere near ready against this type of field, it wouldn't be a surprise on her pedigree that she jumps in distance. 5.5 months off number 4, Lavender Bay. Well, they may give us a word from the course on how fit, well, and ready she is for this race, and maybe then you can make up your mind. But that will definitely be a good result for you. 8-1 shot. You'll drop a lot of tickets if that has to come in race number 4. Jackpot 1, race number 5. It's over 1,400 meters. We'll bring up the field, and horse number 1 is at 8-1. Number 2 is at 7-1. Then we move along to number 5 at 6-1. This horse, Cabana Lesedi, number 6, always keeps me interested, but carrying 62 kgs this time round at 4-1. Number 7 at 11-2, 8 at 7-1. 9 is 33-10, and I've jotted down a price of a horse here, Graham. Maybe you're going to give me your thoughts on horse number 10. I know she's a 6-year-old mare. I don't know, but I just looked at a course and distance record, Graham, and she seems to enjoy it when she races at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth over 1,400 meters. But all depends on which horse comes to the track. She's training at 14-1. I like her as a roughie, but if I had to single out, my top choice, it will be horse number 9.
I think number 9, Spirits Unite, has got as good a chance as any. I think if you ran this race 5 times over with the same draws, the same weights, the same jockeys, you're still going to get 5 different results. I think a bit of luck in running the pace, etc., that is going to determine the outcome here. So it's difficult. This is one of the reasons why I've avoided the bipot. This is one of the reasons why I've avoided the jackpot. Number 1, I've gone with jackpot 2 as my suggested bet because it is so tough. Gold Index has got a chance, like the Clappers will put that indifferent run behind him last time out. Hang Out the Stars. How is Hang Out the Stars at 16-1 and Cabana Lesedi is that short in the market? Last time out he beat Hang Out the Stars by a whisker. And Hang Out the Stars has got quite a nice pull at the weights. So I think Hang Out the Stars represents a bit of a lurker and a value bet. Ticking Bomb is a maiden in handicap company. She's been struggling in the maidens, but who knows. Kelp Forest, below best his last 2, but on best form. F8 represents some value, was running on nicely into 5th behind Ice Ray. Now the horse that ran 4th in that race was Could It Be? That came out to win over the weekend. But Spirits Unite, I think, does set the standard, but, he's had 16 starts for 1 win and 1 second. So, the Richard Fourie factor, the tongue tie goes on. If Richard Fourie wasn't riding this horse, he wouldn't he'd be in the market on his last couple of runs, but we wouldn't be speaking about Spirits United in the way that we are speaking about him now. It's one of these very, very shallow Class 5 handicaps, and for me, any kind of result can be expected. I think the value lies with 4 Hang Out the Stars and number 8, F8. I'll be looking to turn over the principal runners.
I don't know whether my eyes are deceiving me, but I'm going to be watching this replay. But as you spoke about Spirits Unite, I saw something black flash across the screen. As you spoke about Spirits Unite, I don't know whether that's an omen, but I'm going to watch this replay because I don't think my eyes are deceiving me. I just saw something flash past you, Graham, on the screen. I don't know if our producer can tell us anything, but I'm going to watch the replay. I'm going to watch the replay because something just flashed past, Graham.
No idea what you're talking about.
I promise you, something just flashed past, Graham. I'm going to watch the replay.
Just
if
before
it
we
is
close,
there,
before
if
we
it is
close the
there.
race, you started off with Fly to Rio, so remiss of me not to make a comment about Fly to Rio. Fly to Rio and Veronique always run at the same meetings. Most often they run against each other. Veronique comes later. Yes, you can't ride off Fly to Rio. Her course and distance form is good. You know, she's won 4 races. She's got a bit of an awkward jaw to overcome. She beat F8 by half a length in receipt of 7 kilograms. She's better off with the weights, actually. You know, so she's definitely there with a shout.
The omen for me is to watch the replay. If that is true, then number 9, Spirits Unite, could possibly be a banker here in race number 5. The replay is the key for me, Graham. That's the key for me. Jackpot 2, race number 6, 1,200 meters. It's a middle stakes. Number 1 at 4-1. Number 2 is at 5-2. Horse number 3 at 4-1. And then we got the runner. Wow. This horse, Pineapple Mint Green, when she is on a roll and she can turn on the jet, she can really turn on the speed. She showed it 3 starts back. It was just a repeat of that type of performance last time out. And I'm looking at a record with Sean Veal. He seems to get the right tune out of her. Can she go back-to-back, Graham? Or, you know, she needs a lot to go away with the way she races.
She does need a lot to go her way. The race has to pound it exactly. She's won 3 races, never gone back-to-back. She could certainly do it here. She's up against Southern Skies again, who's the market leader. I think there are 5 potential winners in the race. It's one of the better races on the card, no question. There's a bit of quality in this race, as middle stakes fillies and mares. I ask you this. If Richard Fourie was riding Nordic Quest and Vinar was riding Southern Skies, how do you think they'll be betting?
Nordic Quest is 4-1, and Richard Fourie now is on a 5-2 shot Southern Skies.
Put Richard Fourie on Nordic Quest
I think you possibly
and
swap
put
them
Vinar
around.
on Southern Skies, and what's the betting there?
I think you possibly swap them around.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and Nordic Quest for me is the one to beat. I'm assuming Elder de Meyer has taken the ride on Winter Rainfall. That could be a weight issue. Winter Rainfall is probably going to have to shed a kilo or 2 to get to 58.5. Nordic Quest has only got 57. Now, nothing to choose between Nordic Quest and Pineapple Mint Green, so wherever Nordic Quest finishes, Pineapple Mint Green shouldn't be too far away. But Nordic Quest is such a beautiful, beautiful daughter of Karari. I can't help but believe that she's going to win twice as many races as she's already won. She's won 3 from 8, but she's found her form recently. I do believe that Nordic Quest sets a standard, and whatever beats Nordic Quest will win. But Winter Rainfall, clear chance, comes out of that Pineapple Mint Green form as well. So it's a kind of a rematch here. Southern Skies was second behind Pineapple Mint Green. Winter Rainfall was third. Pineapple Mint Green's in the race. On a different form line, Nordic Quest was beaten by Pineapple Mint Green. So you could probably throw a blanket over them. I just get the feeling that number 3, Nordic Quest, has got more to come. So you've got to throw them all into your play. You have to throw them all into your play. And I'm going to add one other. The surprise package in the race could be number 4, Enemy Territory. She comes back to 1,200 meters. We know she can run. She won 3 on the bounce, including beating Distant Winter some time ago. She did beat Sarki over a mile. That was a superb effort. She ran second to Princess Izzy in the Sweet Chestnut. Comes back to 1,200 meters, freshened up, and on her day, Enemy Territory can blow them all away. So for me, this is a terrific race, and I'm going to throw in all of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. If pushed into a corner, Nordic Quest would be my top choice.
Well, not to get too technical, but I also like the look of number 4, Enemy Territory, but I don't know whether this rating of hers is a bit too high now, 98, because she's been earning a rating over 14 and 1,600 meters. and drops to a 1200. But I'm in agreement with Graham. I think she could be the result you're looking for here in race number 6. If she does run well over this 1200 meter trip, number 4, Enemy Territory, could be big value there. And that's the type of result that you are looking for when you are playing the exotics. Let's move along to race number 7, and it's over 1200 meters. Graham, this race, I don't know what you're going to do in this race, but you're going to have to either go with number 3 or I just don't know after that. But the betting is like this. Veronique is at 15 to 10, number 3. Number 4 is at 6 to 1. Horse number 7 is at 11 to 2. And just one other, number 12, is at 5 to 1. Graham, unless you found something that you like to possibly beat number 3, Veronique, how do you try to narrow it down if you want to beat her? But the betting market, personally, I think has got it spot on with her.
Yeah, I never ever thought I'd see the day that Veronique was priced up again at 15, 16 to 10 to win a Class 5 handicap, because she just doesn't shape up as that type of filly. 40 starts for 2 wins. But again, it's a free factor, and the course and distance form is good, because it's interesting that it's been a very, very long time since she's run over 1,200 metres. All of her recent runs have been over 1,400 metres, but she's in good form. She's been runner-up in the last 2 behind the same horse, Grandiosa. So you have to say, well, how good is Grandiosa? But let's not question the form. She brings that kind of good form into the race. So she is clearly the one to beat. You asked me a question, I'm backing her up with one horse only.
Give it to us.
And that's number 4, Trey Schick. You know, Pitt Buerta has done wonders with the horses that the Dare to Dream Syndicate have bought out of the Justin Snay stable. Baton Rouge was, again, another example just the other day, winning well. So it's had one start for him. Trey Schick, that was in an 1100 meter race, under 3 lengths behind First Masterpiece. Does have to concede a lot of weight to Veronique, which is why Veronique is my clear first choice. And the only reason that I'm backing Veronique up with Trey Schick is I've sort of separated them. So Trey Schick, if Veronique doesn't deliver her best, you've got to have something else, hopefully flying your flag at a bit of a price to beat home the rest. So I've gone 3 and 4 in the second leg of Jackpot 2. I do think Veronique will get the job done, but Trey Schick, I think, does emerge as the biggest threat.
Okay, Graham has picked out one horse as a danger, and 3, Veronique, 15 to 10, 4, Trey Schick at 6 to 1 in a race where it looks an absolute minefield if you look past the 15 to 10 shots. Race 8 is over 1,000 meters. Now, this race, Graham, number 3 is at 7 to 2, 4 at 6 to 1. Horse number 6, the filly in the race, or one of the fillies in the race, at 5 to 2, who's got some very inspiring post-maiden form. Then we got the money horse, number 9, Speed Racer. Anti-post opened up 28 to 10 Hollywoodbets. That's been punted into 22 to 10. There's some form to work around here with Graham, but are you siding with the money horse, or you're going to go with horses that are definitely in it on their current form?
Another good race. So we've got, 2 very good races on the card. This KP Stakes over 1,000 meters. It's interesting that that Speed Racer steps back even further. He won his maiden over 1,200 meters. Then he won over 1,100 meters. Now he steps back to the minimum trip. But gelding has done wonders for this horse, and he's clearly in the form of his life. He was gelded 4 runs back. He's run second, first. So if the pattern continues, he's going to run second. But I think he's certainly one of the leading lights. Kyalami Girl and Speed Racer to lock horns in this race. And if you're really desperate to want to narrow down the cost of your perm and increase your percentage, then I would say you can take your chances as a boat race between number 6 Kyalami Girl and 9 Speed Racer. But if you want to hedge your bets, then you've got to include 3 Pork Device. You always feel a bit silly if you go out of a permutation when Richard Fourie wins. And he enjoys a very good strike rate with Mike Stewart. He's only ridden Pork Device 3 times for a win. The filly's in very good form. So you can't say she's not without a chance. When you look at my suggested Jackpot 2 perm later on, I excluded number 4 Bluff and Bluff. But as you know, we've got to put those forward quite early. And I've had a rethink. Because I'm going to I'm going a bit wider in this race. I'm going to throw number 4, Bluff on Bluff, in. Now, why have I not gone with the 2 horses, 6 Kyalami Girl and Speed Racer only? For a couple of reasons. I just said I don't like to leave Richard Free out of the play completely. Bluff on Bluff should go well with Speed Racer. And then I'm not leaving this filly out. I know the last couple of runs have been shocking. She's been rested since December. Number 8 to Charleston. She beat Kyalami Girl as a 2-year-old. She wasn't striding out in those 2 runs, Dees. I watched them very closely. And there was clearly something amiss with the Charleston. They thought she was very good as a 2-year-old. Candace still thinks she's very good, but I think she had a couple of soundness issues. They've put her off since December. She could come out fit and fresh. She might just need it. I don't know. But I'm not going to let the Charleston, who's been priced up at 20 to 1, run loose. So, smaller perms. Boat race, 6 and 9, Kyalami Girl and Speed Racer. If you're going wider, then you've got to include all of numbers 3, 4, and 8.
3, 4, and 8. Graham, just moving away from the race card, you mentioned Richard Fourie. The thought process of punters are different when they structure exotics. You know, we study the form, we have a look at the replays. You possibly got horses that you pencil in. But when it comes to the Richard Fourie factor, there's a lot of guys that will tell you, the media thing that I do these days when I play a pick 6, is have a look at the pick 6 legs. Wherever Richard is running, he's a must inclusion. Do you see it the same way?
I look to try and beat him where I can,
yes,
because, you know, the tote is all about you playing against the other players who are competing in a pool bet.
Yes.
But not at any cost.
Yes.
So when he's on a horse that I really think he can win on, I'm confidently banking him or following him. But the point you make generally...
Would you include all his mounts?
You put all of them in.
Yeah. Would you do that as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if, I mean, there we go. He won on a horse that was pretty generously priced at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. He won on that horse Strathclyde. It went out to 9, ran 70. I thought
that was me out.
I thought it was one of the better bets in the card. I took it at a wrong price. I backed him early because I thought it was going to short it, because I thought, you know, once the boys get in. But anyway, sometimes you take the right price, sometimes you take the wrong price. I couldn't believe 3 to 1 Dave the King. But now we're talking backwards again. Let's talk forwards.
Sure.
So yes, 6 and 9, Kyalami Girl, Speed Racer, those 2. But if you want to stretch it, numbers 3, 4, and 8.
Race number 9, 1,000 meters. This is where we close things off, Graham. Number 1 at 33 to 10. Horse number 2 at 6 to 1. Then we got this Wordsworth at, I don't know if I got the right price here, Graham. I think I'll have to double check that. But 2 to 1, 18 to 10. Okay, I'm correct, because this says 18 to 10. 11 at 7 to 2. Because when I did jot that down, I put a question mark next to it. Wordsworth, Richard Fourie again, 18 to 10, 2 to 1, as Graham mentioned. 11 is at 7 to 2. And then it is double figures the balance. How many runners close things off here? 12 runners go to post. It's the last leg of the pick 6, the last leg of the last pick 3, the last leg of Jackpot 2. And is this a race that, if you are on the back foot, you can possibly get out with something?
You know, the two of the key runners on the day are from the Greg Enion stable. Veronique and this horse Wordsworth, who won fluently last time out with Richard Fourie aboard. Richard retains the ride. He's only ridden the horse 3 times to win in a second, so he clearly understands Wordsworth. Wordsworth's had 53 starts for 3 wins, but he's in very good form. And this is the time of the year for Greg Enion to shine. And so Veronique and Wordsworth are 2 key runners in structuring your pick 6 and how you play it. And whether you decide, as we were discussing a moment ago, you just throw your lot in behind Richard Fourie. But these horses have got form as well. So Veronique, runner-up in her last 2. Wordsworth, a good winner of its last. Now, Trey Schick was the one that I picked out to possibly hedge my bets with against Veronique, trained by Pitt Boyd, and I'm doing exactly the same here. Only one other horse, number 11, Swift Action. The Pitt Boyd Keenan Stain combination won the last on Saturday with Baton Rouge. He is in good form, so it's not a shot in the dark. Swift Action has run second in his last 2 starts. So I'm narrowing this leg down, maybe at my peril, but I'm narrowing it down to a matching 2 between 3 Wordsworth and 11 Swift Action. Again, I'm expecting Wordsworth to probably get the job done. There's not much scope for improvement, but you know, he's running off a 65 rating. is Wordsworth. So he's full value for being a favourite. I know he was bounced up £6 for his easy last win, but 50, at this level, 65 is fine. He's in form. That's the key. He's in form. But what was interesting is if you go back to the lunch money form line, if you go all the way back to the 20th of January, he was third behind lunch money, and Swift Action was second behind lunch money. Not much in it. So, so those are the two obvious choices. I'm not telling you anything that the form book is not telling you. Wordsworth and Swift Action for me in the last.
Well, Graham has included two runners in this race, and where he had Greg Enyon's runner, Veronique, priced up at around 18 or 16 to 10 or 15 to 10. He also backed that up with Pit Porter's runner. So maybe those are two good exactors to play. If you're not convinced with either or, box them in their respective races. I'm talking about race 7, numbers 3 and 4, and race number 9, numbers 3 and 11. But Graham, you mentioned throughout the show that your suggested bet is Jackpot 2, which will come up on screen now. You want to take it away?
Thank you, Dees. Yeah, Jackpot 2 starts in race 6. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 in the opening leg. Then just numbers 3, Veronique and Trey Schick. Now, as I mentioned, if you watched the show, I'm going to add one horse into that third leg. 3, 6, 8, and 9 were my initial selections. We had to put that in quite early. I'm adding number 4, Bluff and Bluff, so it becomes a 100 Rand perm. On screen is an 80 Rand perm, now becomes a 100 Rand perm. And as we just discussed, the last leg going with number 3, Wordsworth, and number 11, Swift Action. Swift Action actually beat Wordsworth, also behind here, my voice. So wherever Wordsworth runs, Swift Action should be right there with him. So there we go, 100 Rand, Jackpot 2 perm.
100 Rand. Graham, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Dees. As always, pleasure to do the show with you.
Well, as you heard it from Graham, he's given you his thoughts on all the races. He's given you a Jackpot 2. The key for me to this race is to watch this replay. And if there was a shadow that went past the camera in race number 5, then it's going to be Spirits Unite, the banker. For Graham Hawkins, the Gallop TV team, and myself, Dees Dianan, you have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a very successful day to you, the valued racing fan. Until we meet again, let you take care. Salani Gashle.